Yes! 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 Oh,
yes!
What a day! We're all going to remember where we were the day that Big Cass was medically cleared to come back. How an exciting day.
S-A-W. No, not at all. That's not what we're excited for. That's not what we're excited for.
It's really not. I feel bad for Big Cass. Because no, I don't really. Either.
I know.
If I cared about it, I care.
This must be the worst year of his life. He gets dumped by his girlfriend, and then he gets medically cleared to come back at the same time of one of the best medical clears we've ever gotten, and so excited for. And it happened in the ring.
Daniel Bryan, medically cleared to come back.
The GOAT.
Very, very exciting. And we were. This is take 2 for us, by the way, but that's fine. We're going to say all the same shit again. Because it's really because we start the show generally chronologically. Here's what happened on Raw. Here's what happened on SmackDown. Here's some other stuff that we want to see happen. But how do you not just talk about Daniel Bryan all the time? He starts out, comes out, gives a wonderful speech about being grateful and following your dreams, and your dreams will follow you, or something like that. It was very Yoda-like the way he did it. Yeah, it's very touching. And
then he goes and fires Sami Zayn.
Sure, yeah, at the end of the show, and he got the shit kicked out of him, and we know how happy he was during every second of it.
Exactly. And then when you see him get the shit kicked out, it's like, oh, but he's just getting beat. But then all of a sudden, he fights back. He starts revving up. He's running back and forth. And then he starts doing the yes kicks. And you're like, oh, man, he's back. He's really back.
Somebody on Reddit was a very funny comment where they were saying whenever Daniel Bryan does the yes kicks, he wants Corey Graves to call him the Miz kicks. Because Corey kept him relevant the last 2 years.
That's true. That's true. The Miz kept his whole repertoire very relevant this last year, him and Corey Graves. And I got to be honest with you, when he came back, I did not expect him to come back against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. I was like, oh, when he comes back, he's obviously going to feud with the Miz. Because the Miz has been on this shtick this whole time. But this feud, I'm actually... we've been talking for a while about how excited we are for, WrestleMania. And for the longest time, I've been kind of like, You know what? But now I'm kind of like,
We're so excited about Daniel Bryan. We didn't even say who we are. I'm Kevin Kittredge. This here's Mr. Johnny Parker.
Hey, everybody.
We are on the hashtag show, that hashtag show channel. I always do that. I always call it the hashtag show. And I'm sure somewhere Joe... he feels it, and he's like, what the fuck just happened?
One job.
Speaking of what Joe would say, we have a TeePublic store where you can get some great hashtag show merchandise, such as, Josh, come here.
What?
Come here. You can get amazing T-shirts, such as the one as one of our gentlemen. You're a producer, yeah?
I'm a producer.
Look at this talent. Look at
producer, part-time, male model.
Legend of Zelda. It's dangerous to go alone. Take this. Take the hashtag show with you wherever you go.
Hashtag.
All right, I got my brownie points. Got my brownie points with Joe. Everything's fine. Joe could not be here tonight. Do you know why Joe couldn't be here tonight?
I have no idea. Why could not Joe?
Because he's interviewing John motherfucking Cena tonight. That's exactly what
he's interviewing John Cena?
He's out there doing all the movie stuff, and he's interviewing John in the press junket for Cock Blockers, which looks like a lot of fun.
This might be Joe's most difficult interview yet.
Joe said that he was talking to Junior over there, and he said that John was really cool and gave him extra time to talk wrestling and stuff. So be on the lookout for that.
How did he do it, though?
He goes to all the press junkets.
Yeah, but how do you interview somebody that you can't see?
This fucking guy. Right here. How dare you? Hackman here points out, Miz, so when Daniel came back, everybody's posting on Twitter and what have you. I'm so happy for him. Congratulations. Miz was the only one to stay in character. He was like, oh, great. Hooray. And I posted a gif of little applause. And I thought that was great. I would have been really disappointed if The Miz was like, I'm so happy for Daniel Bryan.
It'd be great if he's like, look at him. Bet he's injured again in 2 months. He's just like, no, Miz, that's too far. That's too far.
So it was just a fantastic way to bookend the show as you would do. Man, that was trending huge. It was so big.
It's like the biggest wrestling news. It's like...
But it entered the mainstream. Like USA Today was reporting it and all this other shit. It was all over the place.
It is. Because the thing about it is, though, is that, when you think about Daniel Bryan, you think about those crossover stars, every generation has their Stone Cold Steve Austin. They have their Rock. And sometimes you have two of that generation. You have that John Cena. That guy who crosses over from, the wrestling fame to mainstream fame. Mainstream mainstream fame, like Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair. Daniel Bryan is one of those wrestlers who just had that. He was just right at the cusp of it.
He was at the cusp. I don't think he quite made it.
Exactly.
And
he was
got
right at
taken
the
out
cusp.
before.
It was like we all knew that that's what he was going to do. Like he was going to go to that next level. And then sadly enough, that career was just cut short too soon.
Because I don't see him wanting to go to movies. And that's what it would take, I think.
True, but he must just like I agree with you. He's such a humble guy. He's like the vegan and all those good things. I see him being so humble at the same time though. I kind of get the vibe that he wouldn't want to, but they would want him to. They would pursue him. And they would try to get him to do things. And also at the same time, you gotta remember, he's married to a Bella. Bellas are ambitious. So I wouldn't be surprised if Reed tried to push him to do something. Definitely I agree with you. It would be like, it's like the Marine 8 starring Daniel Bryan. It's like, what is his weapon? A broccoli and cauliflower. Sure. So, no, I don't see that happening, but I could see him maybe like, showing up with some vegan cook shows, like some things like that, maybe getting more involved with charities and things like that. They would definitely want to put that face out there more because people become so recognizable.
And you mentioned Brie, and he mentioned her a couple of times during his returning speech. And I don't think it's a work. I don't think he was just saying it to say it. I think she was probably extremely supportive.
Oh.
And it's really nice to hear.
Yeah, because I mean, the thing about it is that, like, on one level, you're like, you don't want your husband to get injured and you don't want to have a seizure and possibly die in the ring. But at the same time, though, you saw this man at home for 2 years being depressed because there's one thing that he loves more in the world. One of the things that he loves most in the world is wrestling. That is his career. That is his passion. That's what he thinks about. He can't even train or be like coach people because it hurts his heart because he can't do it himself. And so she probably saw him going through the anguish and was like, you know what? We got to get him back. It's like, I support your decision. So she's still by our partner.
So we have Daniel Bryan versus Nakamura in the future. Obviously
Daniel
Owens
Bryan
and Zayn
versus AJ Styles.
Fucking right, dude. It's going to be good. And one thing that I was thinking of, and I hadn't seen anybody mention it until this one person tweeted out, Daniel Bryan, that's interesting. That's good. Hashtag WrestleMania 35. And that person was Kurt Angle.
Ooh.
That's something I really want to see.
Oh, man. And then also it was like, I mean, like right now, this is one of the best times in the WWE. Daniel Bryan versus Finn Balor.
And remember that? Oh, yes, Finn Balor, of course. And there was so much time where we were like, all these people are here. And I remember before Nakamura was in WWE, and I think it was when Daniel was healthy, and he's like, I want Nakamura to come to WWE. And then he came just as Daniel retired. It was like, what a... So it's all coming together. We may have shifted from the darkest timeline and we're moving into lighter timelines.
There it is.
Which is very nice.
I feel like we're in the, like, I agree with you. I was just thinking we're in the age of like, because I know some people have kind of nicknamed this the boring era. They say the PG era, but a lot of people
said that?
There have been people who are calling it the boring era, but at this time I would call it the work era because we have some of the best in-ring workers in the world.
Right? Call it workhorse.
The workhorse era. Because we have some of the best workhorses in wrestling in the WWE right now. And the very few who are not in the WWE are in New Japan right now with the Bullet Club. So the thing about this, just New Japan in general. So I'm looking forward to the future. And with Daniel Bryan coming back, you never know who he might attract over from New Japan as well. So
I really think Nakamura should win the title, and I think it should be Bryan versus Nakamura at SummerSlam. That's my... Is it long term if it's just a few months? That's my long term plan. That's what I want to see.
Okay. I'm not thinking long term plans. I got to be.
No. We don't know who to blame. We're just going to blame Junior.
There it is. He was like, forgive me, guys. And we both look at each other. It's just like, No.
So you were going to talk about not your long-term planning, but your mid-term planning.
Exactly. So here's the thing. Like I was saying before, I'm really high off the whole, the whole Daniel Bryan just coming back. It just happened a few moments ago. And so to be honest with you, like, the one match that I would love to see him have is a match he's talked about, a match that he looks forward to, a match that he's planned for. And you're going to look at me like I'm going crazy when I say this, but I would love to see Daniel Bryan versus Brock Lesnar.
And that's something that I wanted to happen 2 SummerSlams ago when he was supposed to – apparently he was going to lose just as bad as John Cena lost that year, which, the internet dork in me would have been like, this is wrong to do to Daniel Bryan. But he would have done it to John – he did it to John Cena. Exactly.
But the cool thing about it is, though, is that if they decide to go this route, because it was so cool, you see Daniel Bryan talk about before about, like, how Brock Lesnar is this, like, huge beast and everything like that. He said that, like, he would approach it, but he would approach it as, like, an animal form of type wrestling, where he's, like, on all fours, skidding around the ring, knocking in his kneecaps, going for his legs and everything like that. And I was like, when I heard it, I was like, whoa, that's brilliant. He's a true genius of, like, wrestling and storytelling right there. The fact he can change up his style to fit Brock like that and tell an engaging story, I'm like, that's kind of amazing. That's a match I want to see. That's a match he could win. And what's cool, too, is, like, you bring up the John Cena thing. John Cena lost through, like, 20 suplexes and everything like that. Randy Orton lost after he was made to bleed his own blood. Crazy. But the thing about this is that makes a better story for Daniel Bryan. It's like, how do you expect to beat Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam? He beat John Cena. He beat Randy Orton. How do you expect to do this? And it makes for more engaging stories. Like, he's the true underdog who has to like beat this beast at one of his best arenas. It's like, you know what? I want to see this happen. So hopefully, if we're lucky, like, again, wrestling looks really bright right now, and there's so many people who get a chance to see Daniel Bryan wrestle, and so hopefully we get to see all this soon.
Bryan and Lesnar would be such an awesome contrast in styles. And
the Beast versus the Billy Goat.
That's right, Craig. He said it'd be an interesting beating to take from Brock. That's why he wants to face it. Nice. People are talking about, we're going to go to Raw.
Do we have to?
Yes, we do. We have to talk about Raw. It's one of the 2 major shows of the week.
I guess so.
But it starts off with fucking Angle, and here comes Roman Reigns, clearly off the street, wearing his Roman Reigns shirt. It wasn't even his shirt, or was it like his vest?
No, it was his vest. It was his wrestling gear.
Dumb.
KK, come on. I kid you not. I was in Denny's the other night, and I saw Roman sitting there spilling pancake syrup on the vest. He's like, what gets this out? Club soda? No? Okay. He's like, but no, I agree with you. It was ridiculous, and oh, man.
Very silly. So what happened there? Oh, yeah. Got Roman handcuffed. Got him beat with a chair. We had to, it's a fascinating move we made from the police don't do it anymore.
No.
We don't, it's not.
No. It's not
police.
It's not security. It's not arena security.
Is it federal marshals? U.S. Marshals. U.S. Marshals have to come and escort the pro wrestlers from the pro wrestling ring.
Exactly, for trespassing. That's what U.S. Marshals do. Yeah. They come and escort people for trespassing. So
Franco says we're lagging again. Are we lagging again? He spelled it with 1 G, but I don't think he meant to say we're late.
Tell them that we're going to go off the air briefly, and then we'll be right back.
We're going to be off the air briefly. We'll be back after these. There aren't any messages.
Can we get a... It is like an animation. It's like we cut it to the producer like drinking.
Yeah.
This wasn't. Yeah. I never got into it.
video now.
All right, we're good.
Well, that's what Junior says, but can't hear you guys. What the fuck is going on? Miggy?
Muggy. Muggy?
They say there's no audio.
No.
All right, we'll tell the 3 independent sources.
Hackman just said yes.
Okay.
Craig said not at all.
Oh, heavens to Betsy.
The millions and millions of Call in the Ring fans are upset right now. I blame
McDonald.
Oh my God, no!
Why did you mess up our audio?
Sorry, I smashed that.
It was her awesomeness was too much to contain.
I think we're back. We were whining about Roman Reigns, as us internet nerds do.
I think this is the world does at this point. So Roman Reigns comes out in his wrestling gear, looking ridiculous, like he just walked in from off the street, gets in the ring and cuts his whole promo again. It's like the 3rd week we've seen it now about how Brock is disrespectful, blah, blah, blah. You suspend me when he does this, this, and this. And he says, I'm here for a fight. I'm not leaving the ring. And then he gets a chair and like sets it down. So when you saw the segment, how did you feel about it?
I thought, oh, we're doing the Stone Cold Steve Austin bit again. Mm-hmm. Did you guys hear us talk about federal marshals? U.S. Marshals? Because that was my favorite part. It's not the cops anymore. The cops just don't do it. It's got to be U.S. Marshals that come and take away the wrestlers from the pro wrestling ring.
Not security, not just regular police. No, it's the federal marshals who could show up. So when I'm trespassing now, when I'm in the Dairy Queen past curfew, it'll be the U.S. Marshals who show up.
By the way, is it U.S. Marshals who read Miranda rights? Do they
Actually,
even do that?
I don't think so.
I have a feeling they don't do that. I think the cops do that.
If U.S. Marshals come after you, he's like, guess what? You're going to jail, Wesley Snipes. We're catching you.
I have a feeling it's like I'm watching a movie where someone's on an iPhone in 1984. It's like, that wasn't invented yet.
Yeah.
U.S. Marshals don't read Miranda rights, people.
But you know what's crazy, though? You bring up Stone Cold Steve Austin. And honestly, when I was watching this segment, it kind of showed me what's wrong with Roman. Because the thing about this, though, is that, like we talked about, like he looked ridiculous coming out in his wrestling gear. Then he gets in the ring, he sits there and everything like that. But we talk about when Stone Cold did this. And the thing about it is, like we talked about, like he didn't show up in his wrestling gear. He showed up in his jeans, like a t-shirt. And then when he also showed up with a cool, and he starts drinking beer. And then when you see him sit there, he's not sitting there. He's like, he's got one leg out, cracking open. Like he's sitting there kicking it. And it's just like, oh my God, it's these minor things that sells you on this man being genuinely upset right now. And just shows you he doesn't give a fuck about anything except what he wants. But with Roman, it's just that he talks a talk, but he's not able to walk the walk yet. Like they're pushing him to the superstar position, who should have this natural swagger and charisma, but these little things Roman just doesn't possess yet.
And I wonder how many people have they done the getting arrested in the ring bit with?
It started with
Austin was the first.
Yeah.
And I remember when they did it with The Rock, it was like, are we doing, okay, they did this to Austin, but that's cool. Mm-hmm. I don't remember who was next, but it suddenly became this is the bit where this is the star they want, right, and this is the path we're choosing.
Exactly. Security's going to escort you out and whatnot. But then, so tell the rest of the story. Roman does this. They come out. They read him Miranda rights for some reason we don't know, and then they handcuff him, which is like, because they start to escort him out, and they put his hands like, "Don't you touch me!" And this is the point where like Austin would just like start laying out cops, stunner, beer. But Roman's like, don't you touch me, don't you touch me. I'm in handcuffs. It's like, the fuck? How?
One of the best moments of getting handcuffed away, because I think they handcuffed Austin more than once, is when they were taken away and they were taking him from the ring. And it was after, I don't know, he beat some people up or whatever, and he's laughing.
Yeah.
He's laughing at the terrible thing he did. Maybe he was a bad guy at the time, or maybe it was in Canada.
How?
And it was probably in Canada when he was still when he was against Brett and whatnot. That's all. I mean, I don't want to talk about Roman that much.
But we got to talk about the next part, because then after they handcuff him, here comes Brock.
Yes.
Brock comes out and starts
That's right. Craig, Daniel Bryan did get arrested. But it was the same thing. It was oh no, our hero is handcuffed, and here comes the guy to beat him up.
Exactly.
Like Brock did.
Exactly. And so Brock comes down, beats him up pretty badly too. Like, I gotta be real, I've seen Brock beat up some people, but I don't remember a recent event where Brock's used a chair. So this is the first time we see Brock use a chair in a while. So he beats him up, Suplex City, beats him with a chair, says Suplex City, bitch. And then he gets out the ring, is getting ready to leave. Then he goes back to the ring, F5s him, and he gets out the ring. He's like, okay, this is done. Then he gets to the ring the third time. And at that point, it became comical. Like, I was laughing. Like, it was funny. Like, the first one he was beating him, the audience was booing. They're like, oh, boo Brock. Boo Brock. But by the third time, they're like, this is hilarious. Beat him again, Brock. Keep being on Roman. We love you again. It was like, how? How did you go from almost turning him to a face to going back to the joke of Roman Reigns? It's like, seriously?
Was there a "You deserve it" chant?
I think so.
I think there was a "You deserve it" chant.
I think so. And then what was terrible was that at this point he finally leaves. The paramedics come out and it's like, oh no, poor Roman, poor Roman. They put him on the gurney and all this stuff. They get ready to escort him out. They put him on. They're about to roll him out the ring. And all of a sudden, boom. His music hits again. And
it was weird that his music played. I thought it was weird that his music played.
Me too. I was cracking up like, who plays this for a beating?
Yeah.
But then he comes down and he pushes him over comically. And then at that point, I think even Brock kind of stopped and looked at him and was like, this is fucking stupid. And at that point, he just kind of like walks away from the whole thing and leaves. And at that point, I was like, yeah, this is a waste of a segment. I still don't care about this match at all. This match is kind of a waste of time. The only interesting thing is something that you pointed out to me about his handcuffs.
I think maybe it was Junior. What was that?
It was the fact that his hands were actually bleeding because he was taking all the suplexes that he was like tied up in the handcuffs.
Yeah,
Junior was like the fact he was actually bleeding. He was like,
when flesh meets steel,
yeah,
steel wins every time.
Yeah, I think that was the only legitimate injury he got that night. But I mean, it was kind of a waste of a segment. That's just for me though.
Back another little sidetrack here. I didn't like when they started playing the wrestlers' music when they came out for a save or anything. I liked it when they just showed up and it was like, oh my God, there he is. And when it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't, because it's like from a standpoint, it's kind of like you're running out to a match that you're not supposed to be in. Why would the producer say, cue his music? And he goes to like mess up the show or mess up the match. And so, but I agree with you because it's kind of funny. Like, do you remember what was the name of it for Survivor Series when SmackDown showed? They call it. What did they call it? They didn't call it Invasion. They called it. What they call it?
I mean, it
was pretty much an invasion, but they want to bring back in memories of the old invasion from WCW, ECW, so they called it something else.
Well, there was One Night Stand with ECW.
Yeah, but it was recently when before Survivor Series when the SmackDown roster showed up and beat up all the Raw roster.
Oh yeah, sure, yeah.
That was kind of like I agree with that. Part of the reason why that was so awesome was that they were just showing up to the audience. They were just coming through. There was no music being played.
Right.
It was a beatdown. And like so, I agree with you. Sometimes when you take out those little elements, it gives the whole thing a little bit more legitimacy. Now, you could have times when people's music plays, because sometimes when people's music plays, it's a distraction. Like, for example, Goldberg versus Kevin Owens. The match that never really happened because the moment KO was actually about to wrestle him, Chris Jericho's music hits.
Sure.
And then boom.
Well, that makes sense.
Done.
That's
1, 2, 3.
But that's the excuse.
Exactly. That was a strange word in playing the music.
Bragging rights. Craig says that was bragging rights.
Oh, okay, thank you. So yeah, so I agree with you. Sometimes the music kind of breaks the disbelief a little bit.
And we're already watching wrestling. We're already pushing our limits of disbelief so much. Please don't push us over the end.
So after Roman gets beat down, what's the next segment that comes on after that?
Alexa.
Oh, Alexa Bliss comes out with
Picks on Nia.
Yeah. James, and makes fun of Nia. Can I just comment about how Mickie James, amazing wrestler, so happy she's back, veteran experience, and can still do it at this age. But my God, that woman looks amazing.
Oh yeah, sure.
Just after the comment, I was like, wow, Mickie, amazing.
She's still got it.
She's still got it. But yeah, so what did you think of that segment?
I thought it was fine. I mean, we weren't gonna wait. We knew that it was gonna be Asuka. I keep saying Asuka, Alexa, all these similar lady names. We knew it was going to be Alexa and Nia Jax at WrestleMania. It was just made official. We knew that. Yeah, we knew that was coming.
I gotta be honest. I was a little bit disappointed by it. Like as I was watching it, because she has this match and she with Asuka, because she has a match with Asuka, and then the match gets interrupted by Nia Jax running out to attack Alexa Bliss. Well, actually, Alexa Bliss fakes an ankle injury, is getting limped off by Mickie James as they're going up the ramp. Here comes Nia Jax, chases after them. All of a sudden, Alexa Bliss can run again. She runs, tries to get away, runs to the audience. Nia completes that chase all the way through. And then Alexa Bliss gets in the bag and says, you need to do something about this. You need security. This is ridiculous. And then Kurt rewards Nia with a match at WrestleMania, which I agree with you. We both knew it was going to happen, but I kind of wish that she actually had to do something to get there, though. Like she had to do some match or some kind of thing.
That's fair.
Because I mean, we have weeks away from this. I don't want weeks of promo where it's just like, oh, she made fun of me and blah blah. I would want like, okay, now you have this opportunity, but it has to be earned instead of them just giving to her. So I would appreciate that a little bit more. But you get what you get.
Here's another sidebar. Did you see the WWE 24 Empowerment special?
No. How was it? Did you see it?
Yeah, it was good. It was very good. I watched it when I was kind of waking up today. I had today off.
Oh, nice.
And I was very tired. And so when I'm still waking up, I'm still a little more emotional than I normally would be. And there were a lot of real life moments where people were either very happy or very sad. Like Paige, she's like, I couldn't be in the first Women's Royal Rumble. And I felt really bad for her. And she was crying a little bit. And Hackman points out Mickie James looked amazing, but her hair was a little crazy. Her hair was a little crazy.
Yeah, her hair is always crazy, though.
She's just trying to get a look, you know?
So you were saying, so like Paige got a little bit emotional. And
Yeah, it's definitely worth a watch. It is a little Stephanie McMahon heavy for my tastes, as probably for yours. But
let me ask you this. So we end on a high note. What was one of the happier moments from there?
I mean, there were so many moments where they had the Lady Legends coming. They showed when they were getting ready to have their meeting with everybody, and they were going to go over the spots for the match. So they had people saying, "Oh my gosh, it's you! Oh my gosh, it's you!" And then Trish Stratus came up and was talking to Trips, and she was like, "Hey, it's great to see you." Yada yada yada. Talk. And he's like, "Oh, Molly Holly, I didn't even see you. I'm sorry." Everybody came all together, and it was. If he hadn't said that, it would have been really weird because here comes Molly Holly and Trish Stratus at the same time. And he's just like, how you doing, Trish? Everything's great. You're great. Oh, we're so happy to have you. And she has short hair now, so it's different. I get it. I get it, Trips, but he was very nice.
Yeah.
I think, so for me, just seeing everybody
together.
It's great to see you. And because the Raw and Smackdown rosters don't get to see each other all that often. So
well, they only meet one time a year.
Right. But, I mean, they are touring and stuff, too, like legit. So they don't get to see each other as much. So it was very nice to see everybody happy.
That sounds awesome. Like, I really want to watch it now. Like, that seems amazing because that would be an inspiring moment, having all those generations of wrestlers all in the same room. Because it's crazy. Like, you think about it, Sasha Banks grew up watching Molly Holly and Trish Stratus and, like, all those wrestlers. And so for them to go and be in that room and all together having this awesome, like, match, this first female Royal Rumble, that's kind of awesome.
Somebody turned it into a GIF, and this is it's a tiny spoiler for this special, but they showed when Ronda Rousey came back from the Royal Rumble. She walks backstage after her debut. She points, and then she walks back, and she's walking really fast, and she's like pumped up and excited. And she passes Triple H, who just comes out of Gorilla, and he sees her, and she runs right up, and she gives him a big hug. It's like the camera was like off to the side. It was not for the cameras. It was a real moment of, you just made my dream come true. Thank you so much.
I think that's the reason why I love Ronda Rousey being in the WWE so much. She's really green, and you know she's getting this WrestleMania moment, everything like that. But at the same time, though, it's kind of like James Ellsworth. You have somebody who really, really wants it, and she's legit a fan living her dreaming away.
Well, we'll keep the comparisons to Ronda Rousey and James Ellsworth to a minimum going forward for the rest of the show.
What are you saying? A woman with two hands can make it.
Good call. Good call. What else did we have after that? I'm sorry?
Braun.
Yeah, Braun came out. I thought we were going to find out who his partner was. We did not find out who Braun. He's going to have a partner. I think Angle said he has to have a partner.
He has to have a partner. He confirmed it too, and I think you're right. And the crowd hopes you're right too. They started chanting for James Ellsworth.
Did they?
Yeah,
I missed that. That's very funny.
And I was just like, KK's right again.
It was a very silly thing that I said, but I meant it. People are thinking that Elias is going to be his partner, and I think I'm all right with that. I think it makes some kind of sense. I don't know. He's got to have someone.
He does.
Elias has to show up somewhere. I don't want him mixed into the Battle Royal with, haphazardly thrown in there. It'd be a good spot for him.
Yeah. I mean, the thing about this, though, if Ellsworth did come back, that would be kind of like the ultimate story right there because they kind of jump-started each other in a way. Which would be totally awesome. But Elias could be fun too, because then if they have to start working together, they can start doing gimmicks where like Elias like appears in the ring, but then a second spotlight shows and there's a Braun in the ring as well with a bigger guitar, his like bass guitar or whatever. It's like, we are Elias and Braun. It's like, okay, it's two-man band. Here we go.
That's interesting. It would.
KK's not sold it.
It
KK's
would,
not sold it.
well, that would just mean that Braun is fine having a partner and in getting along with the partner. I think the whole bit is going to be, you are so lucky to be standing next to me because I literally have to have someone next to me. Do you remember when Austin needed a partner back in the day, and Mankind would come up and say, "Pick me, Steve! Pick me!" He did it week after week, and then we had the debut of Dude Love.
Oh,
I don't blame you for not choosing that freak Mankind. It's good stuff. That was good stuff. I remember talking to people who barely watched wrestling. I was like, "Did you see Rod? Did you see Dude Love?" That was pretty great, Kev. That's right. Keep watching wrestling.
That's dope. Way to go, man.
John Cena. Oh, well, we had people. You don't think Bayley's turning, do you?
There was a point in time where I thought Bayley was turning. Well, I was hoping for it because, oh, that'd be kind of cool. But at this point, no, I don't think she's turning anymore.
She is getting a little whiny for a good guy. So this turn by Alexa. Why do I not?
Sasha?
Why can't I get my women together? That's why Sasha. I feel she needs to turn ASAP. I think it needs to be Monday, and we just have a clear good guy and a clear bad guy.
Because right now we have two good guys we're kind of wishy-washy about. And then she does like, "Why did you smile?" So once he said, "Why did you smile?"
Yeah,
she was waiting for that answer. I was like, okay, this answer is going to determine something. So I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah. Cena came out and was like, "Taker isn't talking to me anymore. I guess he's disrespecting me and you and everybody." And then Kane came out and
I didn't feel disrespected though. Did you feel disrespected? I didn't feel disrespected. It was like,
I didn't feel super disrespected. But next week we get Kane against John Cena. Oh yeah!
I'm so excited.
I'll tell you, when people have been talking about,
we get to see Kane wrestle. Oh my God! Thank the Lord.
People have been talking about getting really excited about the idea of Biker Taker coming back, American Badass, and I wasn't really big on it before, and I actually started thinking about it again. I think I'd be fine with it.
Would you?
I think I'd be fine with it.
I mean, yeah, I was going to say Kid Rock is being inducted. That'd be kind of awesome. Kid Rock comes and does it and everything like that. Keep rolling. Then can we get that? I'm taking two at some point. But yeah, a badass man would be kind of fun.
So I'm going through the Reddit post-Raw discussion thread here. What's that, Finn? Was Finn next?
Yeah, it's Finn and...
I feel that we're skipping some
Balor
stuff.
Club versus,
okay, maybe not.
Versus who? Oh, The Miz and the Mr. Raj. Which was a fun promo. Did you see Miz right there?
Oh, when called him Tyler Black. And
yeah, he. So there's a nice little point where the Miz comes out and was like, "I have to defend my Intercontinental Championship. I don't even have to be pinned to lose my Intercontinental Championship after I've carried it. After I've carried the show and all these things." Which I'm like, these are valid points. These are valid points. And he makes fun of Finn Balor and Seth Rollins for being from the indie scene and everything like that. And he drops his great line. He was like, "Who do I have to go against Tyler Black and Prince?"
He called him Prince Nevin.
Which I was like, oh, we're acknowledging this. Like, okay, all right.
And then they fought, and it was fun because it wasn't a decisive victory, because it can't be, because we have a big match. So Finn schoolboyed one of those guys. I don't remember.
Gets the win. They start beating him up, and then Seth Rollins comes down to save him.
And we were building up to. We had Matt Hardy seeking guidance from a giraffe who had the soul of George Washington.
That wasn't George. It was George Washington, right?
No, his soul has passed on to a giraffe. Come on, Johnny.
He looks so presidential, though.
And he went back out to the Lake of Reincarnation. What did we get? Yeah, that was pretty much it until the Ultimate Deletion itself. So I saw bits and pieces of the Ultimate Deletion on YouTube. I don't even know if I saw it all at once. I don't even know if I saw it all. But what were your highlights of the Ultimate Deletion? Besides the mower of lawns versus the chair of wheels.
I'm talking about that.
Junior's dying over here. That was his favorite
hilarious bit. Okay, so first off, I love I love all the build up for it because like they kept cutting in these like little segments where you see Senior Benjamin, you see wife, and you see his 2 kids, and it's like all this like awesome stuff and everything like that. And then at one point comes Vanguard 1. He's like, Vanguard 1, go and patrol the perimeter, and like sends them off or whatever. It's like, yeah, go Vanguard 1. And so then Bray Wyatt comes walking up, and again, we talked about this before, like film segments can be kind of creepy, but this time they didn't do such a bad job. So he comes walking up, and then Bray's carrying his lantern and everything like that
because he legitimately needed to see where he was going. I thought that was great.
Pitch dark, exactly. And then all of a sudden he pulls up, Vanguard 1 scans him, is like enemy and blah blah blah, and then the gates open, and he's like, and then Vanguard 1, a hologram appears. It was like, welcome, Bray Wyatt. Follow the music. And then he starts going up, and then you hear the piano playing, and then piano playing, and the piano was, it was
Bray's.
Matt Hardy's wife playing Bray Wyatt's theme, which actually sounds really good on piano, and even more creepy, like, okay, this is getting good. So then they're going. You're just, and the whole time you're just watching, like, who's popping out of where? Who's popping out of where? So they jump in the ring, they start the match, they're going back and forth and everything like that, a little bit traditional wrestling. But all of a sudden, when like Bray gets a sick clothesline on him, Matt Hardy's like, activate! And then Bray Wyatt's just like, activate what? And then the Vanguard 1 activates and starts shooting off fireworks. And Bray Wyatt's confused. Matt Hardy gets off the ring, starts running away. Bray Wyatt starts pursuing him, everything like that. They like go brawl a little bit here and there and whatnot. And then a great segment, because we saw a terrible one last year. They go to a rebuilt or like a reconstructed Bray Wyatt's house.
Okay.
So
Tell you, before we go on, I just want to point out as well, for good television, when you invest and you have sponsors and advertisers invested in your television program, you get them excited about what they're going to see. What happened last night was Vince McMahon in his little earphone, in his little speaker microphone, spoke to Michael Cole, who then spoke to us and said, essentially, you're going to see some stupid shit now. Feel free to change the channel. That's pretty much what he said. He said it was.
What did he say?
What did he say? He said,
Something about,
what did he call it?
this is going to be terrible, or it was right before it happened. He's like, good luck, guys. It was bad.
Oh, so he pretty much like shot on the whole thing. But the whole thing was amazing, one of the most creative segments. Because then, remember last year when they burnt down Bray Wyatt's house? And Ray Warren's like laughing about it and like, that's kind of sucks, that's his house. But then when Bray Wyatt sees his house now, he starts having flashbacks to like the original Bray Wyatt, to the old like footage and everything like that, which kind of like pulls you in more. And then at this point, Matt Hardy starts playing mind games with them. And so then they start pursuing each other. And then it gets kind of like, I kid you not, they do a Bugs Bunny type
I saw that
reference. Whereas like he's got like these little like, they go to like the cemetery, Matt Hardy goes and hides behind one, Bray Wyatt looks, but he's not there, he's behind another one, and he's like teleporting back and forth. It was like, wow, we're doing this now. We're really this. Exactly, with the candlestick just whacking them from left and right. Oh my God, it was so good. So then at this point they get into the house and we see the original ring from one of the first deletions, and then they start going on it, they start going at it. Bray Wyatt gets the best of him. Looks like he's about to powerbomb onto the piano. And the whole time I'm like, no, not the piano. But then Matt Hardy jukes it out in some way, gets him on the ground, and then he has to decide what's he going to attack Bray Wyatt with. And he has two amazing options. He has the More of Lawns or the Cheer of Wills. More of Lawns, Cheer of Wills. More of Lawns, Cheer of Wills. And I kid you not, he goes and gets on the riding lawnmower, and I know this is fake. I know it's wrestling. But for a minute, I was like, is he actually going to run over with his lawnmower? And then at that point, Bray Wyatt gets up. It was like,
well, it was kind of like is it Austin Powers where the guy is standing in front of the steamroller and he's like, no! And the steamroller's going slower.
No!
It was taking a while to get there.
He's like, you can get out of the way. You can move. It's too fast. Exactly. It's just like that.
T-Wolf said, we apologize for what you're about to see. And he called it obnoxious.
Oh, yeah.
Way to get us excited.
Thanks, T-Wolf. Thank you. Good Lord, Michael Cole.
Vince. It's Vince.
Well, yeah, but you're right. Can't get Vince. Why do you shit on your own product?
Fucking Matt Hardy. I love it. I love him. I do love him. It's so weird, but I love it.
It is. So at this point, they brawl outside and they make it to the Lake of Reincarnation. So again, they're going back and forth. Bray seems to have the best of him, hits him onto the ground. Then something happens, and Matt Hardy disappears. So Bray flips over the boat, and then the best character in wrestling to be created in the last 5 years is there. Senor Benjamin holding a globe of the world. And then he just says it. He doesn't even try to sing it. He just says it.
Well, first he throws it. He throws it to him.
He throws it to him. He's like,
you got the whole
world in his hands. And I'm like, what? And then I did think we would see him. Brother Nero shows up.
Brother Nero,
and full Brother Nero form, eyes gone, everything. You've got the whole world in his hands. And then at this point, Matt Hardy comes out, gets the jump on him, gets the pin, 1, 2, 3, and throws him to the Lake of Reincarnation. And then when Senor Benjamin goes, and he just sits
Senor Benjamin, post haste, come here. I like to say post haste, so I was really glad to see that.
Post haste, that's from now on. We have to say that for Junior. We're like, Junior, post haste, produce the show.
Get the audio back. Post haste.
So Senor Benjamin goes with a hook to try and fish him out, and Senor Benjamin says, "There's nothing here," and that's because he has been deleted.
He's been deleted. There's been talk that they're going to repackage him. I'm not entirely sure what they'll do with him.
Bray Wyatt?
Yeah.
I agree with you. When I saw that, I was like, why would he be deleted? The first thing in my mind was like, oh, are they going to give him another gimmick?
Dude, a year ago, if you would have said that Bray Wyatt was off WrestleMania and Rowan and Rowan and Harper were in, would you? I wouldn't believe me.
I would not. No, actually, I would not believe me either. But I would say that at the same time, though, we've talked about this Luke Harper at the same time. We'd be like, but he does have the potential for it. He's always had the potential.
Yeah.
But it wasn't his fault. It was the company. We just looked at them like, you're not utilizing this dude well. So a year ago, no, I would not have called this. And now it looks like it. But again, we're still a few weeks out yet. Matt Hardy still doesn't have a WrestleMania match.
If the Lake of Reincarnation continued in its tradition of what it had done, as Matt points out, surely Husky Harris is on his way back.
Oh, God.
I don't think that's the case, though.
So that was Raw. Overall, how'd you feel about it?
I was all right. Like I said, I caught all this stuff on YouTube afterwards. And SmackDown. So SmackDown, we had the great Daniel Bryan bit. We had Nakamura beat Rusev on Rusev Day, no less.
I can't believe he did it on Rusev Day.
It's crazy that he would lose on Rusev Day.
Most magical day of the year.
Baron Corbin beat Ty Dillinger. Ty Dillinger didn't even get an entrance. It was a dead match. It was really weird. Yeah.
It's kind of weird for them to do this. Like, they bring up these NXT guys who have all this juice and have all this potential. Like, when he premiered at the Royal Rumble last year, and the audience is going crazy. 10, 10, 10 at NXT TakeOver. 10, 10, 10. You have a guy who's coming in with a lot of juice, but what do? You have him start jobbing out to people.
I will say, and there is one argument that I can understand for this. And it's something that really fucking bothered me. And it's in other matches when the ref is counting outside, they're chanting 10. And it's I think the fans have a lot of blame to take for this.
Really? How come?
Because they shouldn't be chanting 10 in other matches that have nothing to do with Ty Dillinger.
So you think because of that they got annoyed with him? That's the reason why they started downplaying him?
I think that's a big part of why Vince decided to cool down on him for a while.
Here's the thing. I like the 10, and I think it makes it more fun because at this point, I agree with you because I think it's like the yes chance, and it's just something fun for the audience to do as long as it doesn't get too obnoxious. But I do agree with your logic though because remember, Vince also just had bad. What is it? The following match is scheduled for one fall. He had them stop saying that now because he thought it was stupid when the audience would chant one fall or like yell it out and everything.
And I think that's stupid, but I don't think that detracts from the match. I think the chanting 10 distracts from the match.
Honestly, I don't know how he took out the one fall either because the thing about this is that when you go to a live wrestling show, part of the fun is the chants. You see them on TV all the time, and you want these moments. Like I've been to some WrestleManias. Not WrestleManias. I wish I'm not Junior. But I've been to some wrestling shows, and it's like I wish I could have been going to wrestling shows during the Attitude Era and be able to chant Rocky, Rocky. I would love to be there for a title belt to change, or someone to come out to win the championship and chant "You deserve it." Those just like part of the like fangoing experience. So that one fall, again, it's like I used to be one of the best parts about those like championship matches that would have like on SmackDown or Raw. But the fact that you took that out just kind of like
I tell you, man. Bad. I don't have a problem with chanting Rocky. You deserve it. Depends. I'm not so sure about that. But wrestling isn't about chants for me. It's not about chants for me. It's not about going and, I see people, as I say, I'm on Reddit all the fucking time. People are like, hey, I'm going to Raw. What chant do you think I should try to start? Shut the fuck up and watch the matches. How about that? How about you watch the show and see how you feel by watching the show, as opposed to deciding what you're going to do to make the show about you.
Okay, I agree with you. Going there with a predetermined agenda is akin to beach ball mania.
If I may, fuck the fuck off with your beach balls and your predetermined chants.
You only get that sometimes.
I told you, I don't whore that out. I only say it when I mean it.
He says for special occasions. But I do say, though, part of it of going to those wrestling events is the fan experience of participating and being a part of the show when it's appropriate. Like I said, for example, what happened? Kevin, calm your ass down. Not that guy. No!
It is that serious. But Mr. Anderson.
Well, for example, when Sasha Banks wins her first belt and she comes out and it's her first Women's Raw Championship, and they chant, "You deserve it." It's like, fuck, you do, Sasha, because you're pretty awesome. Or when Kevin Owens won the championship and Kevin Owens had been carrying Raw and being so charismatic, that's a "you deserve it" chant. When Seth Rollins comes in and wins the first Universal title and everything like that, gets the opportunity, you deserve it. It's not that far off. But I understand, though, because again, I see where you're coming from. I agree with you. With things like Beach Ball Mania, or you're just chanting shit to distract from the show, you're right. It distracts from the performance these wrestlers are trying to put on.
Fair enough. All right, we need to wrap up in the next couple of minutes here. So we'll kind of rush through SmackDown. We had a tease of a Carmella cash in.
Oh, we really did, yeah.
But I think that was done as a psych out so that Natalya would be able to take advantage of a confused Charlotte.
Question: would you be up for this? I'm not a fan of betting all the time, but amongst ourselves, me, you, and Junior, we should get a poll going about when do we think she's going to cash this in. Versus pre-WrestleMania, during WrestleMania, after WrestleMania. We take time frames and we get a poll going about when we think she's going to cash this in. And maybe even ask some of you guys to contribute as well. Tell us when you think they're going to cash in.
Listen, I'm not giving you any money, but I'll give you my guesses.
You're conceding that I'm going to win. Okay, thank you. We established that. Thank you. But are you down for it? No exchange of money. We'll just do a poll about when we think she's going to happen.
I mean, I think it's conceivable she could try to cash in at WrestleMania and lose.
Okay, all right. We'll get up Junior and we'll come back next week. We'll come back with some predictions about when it is.
Okay, I'm down with that. The triple threat match for the U.S. title is official at WrestleMania. Rude, Orton, and Mahal.
Yeah.
And there was a tag match with Naomi and Becky Lynch where they beat Sarah Logan and Ivy Morgan.
Oh, Becky Lynch was another tag match. I did not see that coming.
And then Daniel Bryan got the shit beat out of him, and it was great.
It was because he's back.
What do we have next, Junior? What's coming on after us that people should keep an eye open for?
Okay.
Yeah, like right after this.
We're doing Achievement Unlocked on Twitch.
Achievement Unlocked on Twitch.
Sea of Thieves. Launch day.
What? A Sea of Thieves? It's the Sea of...
We're going to be pirating.
It's some pirates.
Yay! Launch day. Pirates. Woo!
I'm really excited.
Tomorrow is the Krypton live stream show.
Okay, tomorrow. Who's doing that? Who's doing the Krypton live stream?
I am.
Johnny.
Yep. So check it out tomorrow. We'll be doing a live kind of broadcast. If you've ever seen like riff tracks or anything like that, it'll be kind of like that. We're going to be watching the show live with you, kind of like talking about our thoughts, cracking a little bit, having some fun. It'll be myself, Joe, Tony Sanchez, and Jody from Nerd HQ. So come through and check us out. It'll be dope.
Where else can we find you? We should probably wrap up here. Where else can we find you, Johnny?
So you find me tomorrow, again, on the Krypton Show, but you also find me on Instagram at JohnnyP313 and on Twitter at JohnnyP313.
And I'm on Instagram and Twitter at Kevin Kittredge. I think that's it. Craig says, who gives a shit about Krypton? I think a lot of people are really excited to see. It's 2 generations before Clark Kent, right?
Yeah, it's 200 years before Kal-El's born. And here's the thing. We've had to do a lot of research and watch a lot of clips from it before I've actually watched it. I'll be honest with you. I was skeptical at first too, but now that I've seen it, I'm like, damn, this is not that bad a show. Sci-Fi is bringing a legit budget. Come check it out tomorrow. Trust me, you might have a good time.
Yeah, at least try out the pilot, see what happens.
Exactly.
All right, thanks for sticking with us, everybody. We'll see you next week on Tuesday. Maybe it'll be Johnny again. Maybe it'll be Joe. Maybe, who knows? It's crazy around here.
You never know.
Thanks.